Okay everyone, it's Monday and all is well in the world. Let's take a look at what is happening at Celtic. We're going to do the usual Monday roundup today. We've got some interesting nuggets from the weekend, some stories you may not have heard. We've also got some news from Monday, fixture news, Celtic award winner, loads of stuff to get through on today's video. As is basically the case with anything I say on this channel, you can read about it all on 67hailhail.com. They are the honest guys doing all of the work, and I just kind of snoop in at about 10 to 5 and just knock out a video in half an hour. You know the guys from the channel, David, Ewan and John, of course. They all write over there in 67 Hail Hail. So if you like hearing from those guys on the channel, you will like reading from them as well at 67hailhail.com. Now, I'm obviously biased, but it genuinely is a great Celtic resource. You can read Celtic news, opinion, loads of match-based stuff as well. It really is a great site, so I would recommend checking that out. And I think me just doing this wee shout out has probably bought me about 3 or 4 months in the good books, so I don't need to give them another shout out till about February or March. Okay, so Celtic versus Hibernian, Sunday, December the 19th for the first domestic trophy of the Scottish season. Kick-off to be confirmed. Now, a few eagle-eyed people had spotted that for about 2 hours on Sunday evening, Celtic actually had the kick-off time listed as 4 PM on December the 19th. I checked about 20 minutes ago and they have it back to TBC, that's to be confirmed now. So we're yet to get confirmation on the kick-off time for that game. They're usually 3 PM, the finals. I just get a strange feeling that it might be a bit of an innovative, so to speak, kick-off time this time round, maybe 4, maybe another 5:15, but I would expect us to get confirmation of that this week. But we know Celtic, Hibs, December the 19th, Hampden Park, Premier Sports Cup final. Those are the things we know. Another thing that we do know is that Celtic's league game that we're meant to have that weekend on the 18th of December against St Mirren will obviously not take place that weekend, but just because Celtic's December schedule was so sparse, the SPFL have decided to give us another match in that month. The game away to St Mirren will now take place on Wednesday, December the 22nd with a 7:45 PM kickoff. So just, 3 days after that cup final. That means in total that Celtic will play 12 matches in the next 42 days, including 9 in December alone. It is midweek weekend, all the way until the start of January. And it's a pretty tough fixture list, but it's one to be excited about as well. The Hibs manager Jack Ross made some strange comments, I felt, after their semi-final. He was looking for the SPFL to basically do Hibs a favour with their scheduling. Not going to happen. I mean, Celtic play 2 matches every single week, as most big clubs do, and we never really get a hand, so I don't see why Hibs would, but that's just been rubber stamped today, because Hibs' rearranged game from the weekend of the cup final will also take place a few days later, and that's at home to Aberdeen, so no advantage there for either team in that cup final. Moving on, and our wonderful winger Jota has been named as the Cinch Premiership Player of the Month for October. Now, just a wee side point, I'd love to know why it's taken them 22 days into November to crown their October winner. But hey ho, maybe they're on a go slow or something at Hampden. But Jota scored 2 goals in October against Aberdeen and Motherwell, both away from Celtic Park. The funny thing here is that his form has arguably been even better in November when you look at his record and the performances that he's been putting in. So I think there's a fair chance we could see Jota up collecting the November award, probably on Christmas Eve or something like that. Ange, of course, did get the Manager of the Month award for October just last week. So it's a clean sweep for Celtic this month. And I think that just shows how dominant Celtic have been over the last, 2 months or so, probably now. It's only that Livingston result, basically since we last played Bayer Leverkusen, that you would look at and say that was disappointing. And even then, that's a game we could easily have won in the last minute. A couple of wee bits to tidy up from the weekend now. The Green Brigade released a pretty amazing 5.5-minute video yesterday that was a behind-the-scenes look at their tributes to Bertie Auld, and I say tributes because they had one before the game and they had one in the 67th minute The two displays were absolutely incredible. They really added to the atmosphere, and I firmly believe that Celtic scoring a few minutes after the 67th minute is no coincidence at all. The video that the Green Brigade uploaded, they put a shortened one on Twitter and also their full longer one on YouTube that I'll link below. The videos are incredible. They show it really from start to finish, how a display comes together. It's a real kind of behind the scenes look at it, and yeah, they deserve massive credit for the atmosphere they brought, both them and the boys and all the Celtic fans on Saturday evening. It really was an incredible spectacle. Also, regarding the game on Saturday, Anthony Ralston says he plans to get in touch with David Wotherspoon to see how the St Johnstone player is. You may recall, I think just at the start of the second half, Wotherspoon seemed to get quite a bad knee injury. I think it was his left knee, involved in a kind of, I don't know, it was just a kind of tussle with Ralston. I think Ralston came out on top, and yeah, Wotherspoon's leg was planted. It looked quite a serious one. I think a stretcher was called. He didn't actually require the stretcher to leave the pitch. He limped off with a bit of support on his leg. Ralston knows him from his time at St Johnstone, and I think it's just, again, a mark of Anthony Ralston as a guy and as a footballer as well, that he's wanting to check up on Wotherspoon. I noticed at the time at the match as well that Kyogo was clearly checking up on him as well. So basically we have a lovely team of players. And they're pretty good as well. So it seems like some time on the sideline for St Johnstone's Wotherspoon, and that's certainly the case for Scott Robertson too. Wee refresher, Scott Robertson, the Celtic midfielder, he's currently about, a third of the way into a season-long loan down at Crewe. They're playing in the English League One, although the way they're playing, they won't be in that league next season. They're still bottom of the table. They've taken just 12 points from 18 games so far this season. Now, Robertson isn't injured. Important to say that. He is suspended, and he actually missed their game at the weekend, which they actually won, which was the first of a 3-match ban that he picked up for stamping on a Bolton Wanderers player just last weekend. Now, the referee actually missed this at the time, so Robertson escaped a red card, although, as is often the case now, the video cameras picked it up, and then in the subsequent midweek or whatever, he was cited and he accepted a 3-match ban. Now, his boss at Crewe Alexandra, David Artill, has labelled him, quote, a silly boy, and he said that Crewe would be punishing Robertson financially despite him only being on loan. Now, Robertson has actually been pretty good so far this season for Crewe, even though they are struggling. And generally, I think there's a feeling that he could be a future Celtic midfielder. You can always tell the ones that Celtic have high hopes for because they send them out on decent loans. I mean, Callum McGregor's an obvious one to Notts County, whereas Scott Robertson's a very similar level. Christopher Ayer as well at Kilmarnock. You could tell that the club weren't just loaning these guys out for the sake of it. They genuinely wanted the players to go out and to, I suppose, to learn things and gain experience, first team football, but also to make mistakes. And this is very clearly what Robertson has done. But the beauty of loan systems and Celtic using the loan system is that if Robertson learns from this and becomes a better player and a better person as a result, it's good news for Celtic. Celtic haven't been affected at all by Robertson getting sent off. I remember when Christopher Ayer had his loan spell at Kilmarnock, and there was a game I was watching, I think it was against Aberdeen, because it was live on telly, and he made quite a bad mistake, Ayer, where he tried to kind of beat a couple of men playing centre-back, gave it away, and I'm pretty sure Aberdeen scored. And I remember thinking at the time, you know, that's absolutely fine, because again, Ayer's going to learn from his mistakes, and it's not going to affect Celtic at all. So hopefully Robertson does just that, but it's fair to say that his manager at Crewe isn't the happiest with him right now, but he can always win him back. Okay, that's it for the roundup. It wouldn't be a Monday video though without me telling you about what we have coming up on the channel over the next week. It's another huge week, basically, for Celtic, and when it's a big week for Celtic, it's obviously a big week for us as well. We're due to have Jackie McNamara back on the channel at some stage this week. We'll also have a big preview to Thursday night's game against Bayer Leverkusen. We're going to try and get the scoop on Leverkusen again. It won't be Derek Ray this time. I think we'll maybe go down the actual Leverkusen fans route for that one. Plus, we'll have reactions to that game and in the pub on Sunday after the Aberdeen match. So loads happening. We're now closer to 22,000 subscribers than we are to 21,000, so let's see if we can get to 22k by the end of the week. I certainly think it's doable. There's still more of you watching us who aren't subscribed than those of you who are, so if you're in that 55% there, go on, click that button, give us a wee sub. It will take literally 2 or 3 seconds out of your life, and it may just make Jota want to sign permanently.